Let's blame the council for the heating being turned off. Look, let me start by saying thank you for turning out tonight. It means so much to all the families that you're here. Let me start really by what it's today and yesterday is all about, and that is to say a huge thank you to the families who won yesterday a tremendous battle. On behalf of your loved ones, and on behalf of our city, you fought for the values of truth and justice. And our city pays tribute to your dignity, your tenacity, your determination never to give up. You are an inspiration not only to our city, but to everybody fighting against injustice. 3.5 years ago, I spoke at a vigil here on these steps when the truth was revealed by the Hillsborough Independent Panel. The truth was that your loved ones died by the incompetence of those in charge. And then they disgracefully tried the whole establishment to create a conspiracy which laid the blame at the door of our fans. But the truth has triumphed, and a jury in a court of law has said yes, your loved ones were unlawfully killed, and no, the fans were not to blame. The families of the 96 and the over 800 fans who were injured, and our city which was tarnished, yesterday gave us what we've known for 27 years, the truth and justice. I want to take this opportunity, as Andy Burnham has, Steve Rotherham has, the Home Secretary has, the Prime Minister, to say thank you, a heartfelt thanks to the jury for their dedication over the past 2 years. And to the fantastic legal teams who've been working with the families over the last few years. For too long, the families' campaign was met with a wall of silence from the powerful. The fans were made to carry the blame for the tragedy, while the gutter press were happy to spew their bile onto the memories of the dead. Yesterday, the wall of lies was finally torn down. On the 15th of April, 1989, we watched distraught as the tragedy unfolded on our TV screens. And then, of course, the establishment then plotted to create the biggest cover-up in British history. The second Hillsborough tragedy, a campaign of lies and smears and deceit against the fans and against our city. As people lay dying on the pitch, the lies began. As the city mourned, the knives came out. The fans who acted so heroically on the day would be accused of pickpocketing from the dead and attacking the police under the headline, "The Truth." The real truth came out yesterday. And of course, what do we find 27 years on? 27 years after those awful lies. The Murdoch newspapers didn't even bother to put Hillsborough on the front pages today. Can you believe it? Half the Wales media has been here for the last 2 days, and every other national newspaper rightly put Hillsborough on their front pages today. But Murdoch's lackeys didn't think it was important enough. Even now, today, they are denying the fans, the people of our city, the spotlight that they truly deserve, and denying the gravity of the injustice of Hillsborough. Even now, they insult and disrespect the city and the families of the 96. But there's one thing that I want them to do, one simple task today, and it's about decency. For God's sake, sack Kelvin Mackenzie, sack the man who's a disgrace to journalism and a disgrace to the human race. But let's be clear, he wasn't the only one. In 2004, the editor of The Spectator magazine, a man called Boris, branded Liverpool a city of victims and blamed drunken fans for Hillsborough. We were called Self-Pity City. That tag stuck and it shamed our city. But let me tell Boris and the watching media and the world, this isn't a self-pity city. This is a self-gritty city. Full of true, honest grit. It's in our DNA to fight against injustice at every opportunity. Something we are proud of. Now we wait. Now we have the truth. We wait for the justice and accountability. Yesterday, I spoke to the Home Secretary and said to her how important it was that the criminal proceedings were left alone to continue a thorough review of this new verdict, so that no stone was left unturned and the guilty have no place to hide. Those individuals that were behind not one but two tragedies must be brought to book. And let me mention South Yorkshire Police. They have made their values clear time and time again. A police force that is institutionally corrupt and lacks any morals or integrity. Empty apologies were given in 2012 when their black deeds and propaganda was exposed. But they still put the families through hell over the last 2 years, and they should be ashamed of themselves. The verdict yesterday couldn't be more clear. The weight of evidence was overwhelming, and they saw through the lies. In answer to question 6, are you satisfied? Are you sure that those who died in the disaster were unlawfully killed? The answer, yes. In answer to question 7, was there any behaviour on the part of the football supporters which contributed or caused the dangerous situation at the Leppings Lane? The answer, no. You, the families, have changed the history of this city and this country forevermore. Never has our city and me as mayor been more proud of you and what you have achieved and what you have done. In this city, we know the meaning of the words solidarity, loyalty, compassion, courage and resilience. Our hearts are filled with pride for what you have achieved as families. You are a symbol for all of those who continue to fight for truth and justice. The city stands alongside you today, as we have for the past 27 years. You fought against the might of an establishment determined to cover up the callous conspiracy. You were knocked down by successive governments and you didn't give up. You were tormented by failed inquiries. You didn't give up. You were shamed by a hostile press with scurrilous lies. You didn't give up. You were not meant to succeed, but you did not give up. The obstacles put in your way only makes your achievements all the more heroic. You are the very best of our city. You fought against and overturned the biggest miscarriage of justice this country has ever seen. In grief, you took strength from each other and conducted your fight for truth and justice with determination and dignity, supported by the people of this great city. United in grief, united in love and support. 27 years ago, I laid flowers and a scarf at Anfield with my wife and family. And again last night, we laid flowers and our scarves. A city united and able to be at peace at last. For the families who've suffered so much for so long, you've seen your loved ones finally exonerated in court. And now may they finally rest in peace. On behalf of the city and the people of Liverpool, I pay tribute to all you have endured and all that you have won. The truth and justice has finally prevailed. God bless you and thanks to you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, pray silence, because prayers will now be offered by the Archbishop of Liverpool, the Most Reverend Malcolm McMahon.